joining us. So hello and welcome to everybody who is joining us. I'm just allowing a few minutes for everybody to come through from the waiting room into this event. So hello and welcome. My name is Laura. Welcome to the University of Wolverhampton. Today we are here for our applicant Q&A event for the month of June. I'm just going to give a quick run through what's happening today and then we'll get started on our first talk. So all of the links for today's event are available via our Applicant Day live webpage, which you can see through the link there. Anybody who likes techie things, you can see that there's also a QR code on the screen. And for those who aren't familiar what a QR code is, if you grab your smartphone, go onto camera, hold it up against the QR code, it takes a picture of that and then takes you to the web page so that you don't have to type in the whole www. So that's something new for anybody who wasn't aware what a QR code is. They say that you learn something new every day, but that's just where you can get all the access to our Zoom links and our live chat links today. So our first talk we'll be looking at DBS and occupational health guidance, where there will be an opportunity just at the end for any questions that you may have. And I'll introduce the ladies presenting that shortly. And then around 5 o'clock, after a quick comfort break, we will then be hosting an admissions live Q&A, where we'll be able to pose your questions to Kelly, who we have with us here from admissions today, and that's around 5 o'clock. Also, between 4 and 6 p.m, you can chat with advisors from our accommodation department and from the conversion team. You'll need to go to the Applicant Day Live webpage to get the link to chat live today. So that's what's happening at our Q&A event today. And we will now shortly be handing over to, we've got today with us Lindsay, Lisa and Julie. They all work in the external partnerships team. And I'll allow them to introduce themselves properly, but they're going to be giving us an introduction and some guidance to DBS and occupational health checks that are required for some of our professional courses. So I'm just going to stop sharing and ask Lisa to start sharing, and then I shall hand over to them. Thank you very much, ladies, for being here today.
Thank you, Laura. Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Julie Richmond and I'm the External Partnerships Coordinator within the Faculty of Education, Health and Wellbeing. So as part of my remit, I'm responsible for DBS, International Certificates of Good Character Checks and Occupational Health. What we're going to do for you today is we're going to run through a slide presentation that we've put together. I have two colleagues that work with me very closely. Lindsay Swain, who's our Faculty Quality Placements Administrator, and Lindsay facilitates a lot of occupational health fitness to train questionnaires and will explain everything that you need to know about that and vaccinations. And I also have Lisa Beck, who's our Faculty Compliance Officer. So we'll make a start with the occupational health and I will hand you over to Lindsay. Thank you.
Afternoon, everybody. As Julie said, I'm Lindsay Swain, the Faculty Quality Placements Administrator. So we'll begin with the occupational health slides. The University of Wolverhampton's external occupational health provider is a company called Industrial Diagnostics Company Limited, in short, IDC. Upon application, you will be requested to complete a fitness to train questionnaire. You'll need to note that you won't be able to enrol unless your fitness to train questionnaire has been completed, returned and assessed by the IDC team. If applicable to your course, specifically professional courses, vaccinations are required and the courses are listed below. There are also student management referrals. Within the questionnaire process, if an applicant has been made a course offer via the university's administrations department, or your details are sent to IDC, in order for them to send you a fitness to train questionnaire link, which will hold the questionnaire for you, and this will be stored in your My Tasks container within your eVision account for completion. We advise for you to open this via Google Chrome. Following is the email address which you will receive the link from, and once you've completed and returned it, the questionnaires are then assessed by the IDC professionals, and you'll receive an email from them to confirm that your questionnaire has been received. If, however, an applicant declares a health declaration, the information is once again triaged to the IDC professionals, and they will be in touch with you directly to arrange a consultation appointment to suit and discuss the declaration that's been made. You also need to note that the clearance check, again, will not be cleared until you've attended your appointment. If no health declaration has been made, then no further action is required, and your clearance check, again, will be cleared on your eVision tasks. We'll just hold this slide for a couple of seconds, as this is the email. This is an example of the email you'll receive. And the questionnaire will look like this, in which you're required to answer all questions. Following the assessment of your questionnaire and upon receipt of it, IDC will issue a fitness to train certificate to denote either of the following: whether you're fit with restrictions, fit with advice, or deemed unfit. For those deemed unfit by IDC, I will be informed, and I will also notify the head of department, and you will be contacted directly to inform you that you haven't passed the course enrolment requirement of being cleared fit for the professional course, and subsequently your offer is withdrawn. Once again, upon completion of the fitness to train questionnaire, a further email will be sent to you from IDC, also requesting any vaccination history that you may have. This should be available via your GP. We ask that you send your vaccination history along with your name and student number to the following email address. If you have any outstanding vaccinations that are required for your course, please do not worry, because we will invite you to attend a vaccination session in order for you to receive these. The IDC nurses will provide a blood test which will show what you are immune or not immune to, and anything that's required, any vaccines required, will then be provided. We also ask that you email the following email address if you're unable to confirm your vaccination history. Again, a few seconds on this slide, an example of what the email regarding the vaccination evidence will look like. And the next slide is another example of the page. You will see, if you have your evidence, your vaccination evidence, it will look like this. Fairly self-explanatory. The vaccinations required for your placement area is 2 MMR vaccines or blood test results showing your immunity. Again, please note you will not be permitted to attend your placement area until you've received both MMR vaccines, that's the first and the second, along with the chickenpox or blood test results showing immunity. Your BCG vaccine, known as TB, a scar may be visible. And then your third Hep B vaccination will be provided during the course, that's 6 months later. Further bloods and vaccinations are required for paramedic and midwifery courses, example HIV and Hep C. The vaccination sessions are taking place on campus. Due to COVID-19, we're only currently permitted to host vaccination sessions at Walsall and City campus. The appointments will be sent to you via your personal and or university email address directly from IDC. You're required to confirm your attendance for your appointment to IDC as soon as possible, please. Attendance is compulsory. As again, please note, you're not permitted to commence any practice or placement area until you've received all necessary vaccinations. If you're unable to attend your appointment, we ask for you to contact IDC and an alternative appointment will be offered to you to suit. Management referrals. Our occupational health provider is a service that provides support for students through your journey whilst you're on your course at the University of Wolverhampton. A referral will be discussed between yourself and an academic member of staff. With your consent, an occupational health referral form will be completed by the academic and sent to IDC for triage to one of their professionals. A consultation appointment will be arranged, and following the consultation, an occupational health outcome report will be issued to the student and then to the referrer. We require 72 hours notice if you're unable to attend your consultation. This will not occur a charge. Any DNA do not attend missed appointments will be charged back to the student. So it's imperative that you do attend or notify university or IDC if you're unable to attend. And the last slide consists of the contact details if you wish to take snapshots, or as Laura explained, you have access to the link, but that's the telephone number directly through to IDC and their generic email address, and also my details, telephone number and generic email address. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll hand over to Lisa.
Yeah, thank you, Lindsay. So now we'll move across to Lisa Beck, who will give us an overview of DBS and international certificates of good character. Thanks, Lisa. Lisa, you're on mute.
Hello, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry about that. My name is Lisa Beck and I'm the compliance officer, which includes part of my role is to ensure that you all follow the guidance and have some support to get your DBS certificate check, which is part of the course condition requirement. So it's imperative that you get this certificate before you start the course. You must engage in this process in order to ensure you get full enrolment. Otherwise, when you get to the enrolment stage, you will not be able to progress through, and it may delay some of your part of your course or even deferral. So what do you need to know? It's a requirement of your chosen course conditions to have a valid enhanced disclosure and barring service certificate. You will receive notification via the University of Wolverhampton Wolverhampton's admissions department with your course offer when it is confirmed, and will include full details in order to complete the enhanced DBS check. Okay, key points that you need to note regarding your DBS. You'll not be able to enrol, which I've just mentioned, until you have met all of the course conditions that are set for your course. The DBS, there are two options that could take you through the DBS process. So the first point is the DBS update service. Now, if you've already got a DBS certificate, you may well have engaged in the DBS update service, which needs to be done within 2 weeks of you getting your original certificate. This is payable yearly, and we can facilitate this DBS by emailing viewdbs@wlv.ac.uk. You will have to give us more details, and we will arrange an appointment for you if you email that email address. The other point is that you could have a University of Wolverhampton enhanced DBS, which is the process that we support you through. If you do not have this, then, and you're not part of the subscription service, then you will be need to purchase your DBS. The cost of this generally is £40, and this will show on your eVision tasks and take you straight through to make the payment. DBS products are purchased through the University of Wolverhampton's eStore. You will be required to select the DBS product that is applicable to your course. Each product has been set to reflect the level of DBS check that is required for your course. Completion of the online enhanced DBS application following the purchase, confirmation of your purchase, and further you will get a secret word and a link to complete this with a PIN number. You'll need both of these things to actually go onto the site to start your application. There is a 2-week window once an application has started for you to complete that within the 2-week, unless if you do not do this, then this will be withdrawn and you may have to start again. If you have not done it within the 2 weeks, then please contact FewDBS at wrv.ac.uk or the phone number that is shown here. Verification of ID is undertaken at a nominated post office and incurs a cost of £6. So in total, your DBS will cost £46. This is what your eVision task will look like on your eVision. And you can click to say pay for your DBS, and then it will list the ID that you will probably need to go through the application. Once you get onto eStore, this is an example here that will show which product you can add to your basket. And if your course isn't available, you can use the search option here to get your product to come up in the boxes. As mentioned previously, you have made a payment. You will be emailed an electronic receipt, as well as a separate email containing your PIN, secret word, and a web link to the DBS provider's website, which is called First Advantage. If for any reason you do not receive a secret word or PIN, please contact us at the FewDBS email address with proof of payment, student number, and your full name and the course of study, so that we can look into that for you and issue that separately. Please note, purchasing the DBS process, the DBS process is not completed DBS, and you must progress onto the application. We have had instances in the past where applicant students have purchased the DBS and then thought that that was their DBS, but unfortunately it isn't. You do have another application stage to go through. On the DBS provider website, which is called First Advantage, please select the register button on the top right-hand side, which is shown here. Some people do go into the sign-in straight away, which won't enable you to fill your application in correctly. You will need to register first. What will I need to complete my application? Please note that if there are any errors on your application, and disclosure and barring will reject your application, and you will need to purchase a new DBS product via the eStore link and complete another application. It is therefore very important that you meticulously check your application for any errors that you may have made, because this may incur extra cost if you have to apply again. As mentioned previously, the web link, PIN and secret word will be sent to you. If at any point that you do not get this, as I said, please email the FewDBS email. Again, you have a selection there of documents that you may be able to use for your identification. We do have a link to the gov.uk website there that you can check any of your documents on to see if there's something that doesn't fit. If you haven't got a passport, for example, you can use other documents. In order to confirm your personal details, you're required to supply a minimum of 3 identity documents. To see the full list, as I said, it's on that link there. Please note, within First Advantage system, it is extremely important at the application overview state that you tick the box. This will allow you to go on to this system at any point and check the progress of your application. Unfortunately, few DBS inbox does get quite busy, so we can't always check it for you. So this is the best way to be able to check the progress of your application. When you're at the post office, the verification, you will need to take the chosen ID that you've already selected and completed your application with to a nominated DBS, a nominated post office, along with the ID verification sheet that the application is completed with, to the nearest post office, and the list of post offices is available on that link there. It is only done by certain post offices, so please don't go off to the local post office as they may not be participating in this DBS ID checks. The ID verification service sheet is what you need to take with you. It's available to print. You must have submitted when you've submitted the application, you will get this to print off. Original ID selected for the verification, and a payment of £6. It can be a debit or credit card, will be accepted. If you take a leave of absence from your course during the 3 years, 2 years, however length of course your course is, you may be requested to do another DBS before you return. This will be set by your personal tutor or course leader that we discussed with you when you go on leave, and they will be course return conditions. In addition, you can contact a few DBS email address for further information, and before you return, it needs to be at least 6 to 8 weeks before you return to your course, because of the process, how long it may take to get this back in order to get step back onto the course. You'll be able to attend any practice or placement until this is completed and cleared. If you're part of the DBS update service, again, if you contact the few DBS email address, we can arrange the appointment and get you passed from your update service. It's very important for the safekeeping of your DBS certificate to ensure that you keep it in a safe place and that it's always accessible, as placements may ask for this, and we can't provide any copies of this. If there is evidence of convictions or cautions or reprimands, we kindly ask you to contact the Quality Placements Officer. The contact for First Advantage is as follows. I'll leave that up just for a couple of seconds, just in case you need to look at that a little bit longer. This will all be available via Few DBS as well. We can always send that to you, and it is available on the First Advantage web link, where there is also user guides and information to help you. Please view our FAQs, which we have on this link here. They tend to range from a lot of questions that we've gathered through the time we've been doing the DBS, and it may answer some of your questions rather than you having to wait for a reply to your email. So please do have a look at those. The other part of DBS and compliance checks is the International Certificate of Good Character. So depending on your chosen course of study, you may need to provide an International Certificate of Good Character for your course entry from the country of origin. This is where you were usually where you were born. For health, allied health and social work courses, applicants must provide an International Certificate of Good Character if they have not been in the UK, if they've not been a UK resident for at least 2 years at the time of application. For initial teacher training, it's a little bit more complicated in that you will need a certificate, a good character certificate from the age of 10 to the date that you actually arrived in the UK. If you email the Few DBS email, we'll be able to give you more guidance on this. If you're an overseas applicant living currently overseas from the UK, you will need to go and do an in-country good character check before you leave for the UK, and then you will need to do a UK DBS upon arrival in the UK. Please do not commence your UK DBS until you have actually arrived in the UK. We can always give you any support or answer any questions on the Few DBS email. Again, we've just reiterated the fact you can use the Few DBS email address. Government information regarding the international certificate of good character is available at this link as well, which also we do provide via the email address. Okay, the Faculty of Education, Health and Wellbeing, Assurance and Compliance responsibilities sits with the following. As you've already met Julie, she's the External Partnerships Coordinator. Myself, Faculty Compliance Officer, our details are there. You can use our email addresses, or you can use a generic email address, DBS Inquiries and Support, fewdbs@wlv.ac.uk. First advantage, as we said previously, is online disclosures at, sorry, I can't quite read that, but fortunately, sorry, if you can read that, then that's there for you.
It is, it's online disclosures at gbplc.com. That's okay, thanks Lisa.
Okay, we're open to Q&As now.
Lovely. Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Lindsay, as well, and Julie. So that's been really informative. Thank you, and it gives a real insight into the full process and all the guidance that's required. Because obviously, you can't, with a number of our courses, you can't enrol onto the course until these checks are obtained, even if you've passed all your conditions. So I understand that it's a lot of information to take in. So we're opening the floor now, as Lisa said, for some questions. So we've got somebody here. So Julie's just typing an answer, but someone who's due to start in April, when should I expect to hear from the university regarding completing their DBS and occupational health check? Somebody wants to answer that live for us?
Oh, sorry, thanks, Laura. Yeah. So in terms of April 22, we should imagine that you'd probably be getting your information around what you need to do for your DBS and occupational health. Pretty much kind of late summer, early autumn, and so probably September time, August, September time. If you've not by then, please contact the Few DBS and we'll look into that for you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And just another question that's come through. Are people able to now start a process for DBS and occupational health if they're due to start in September?
Yes, they can.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
So all this information that you've been provided, you can actually go away and start those processes now. So it's really important that you do it earlier rather than later, as it's been mentioned. Definitely. I mean, you can't afford for anybody to be nearer the enrolment date and not have done it. So it is good the quicker that they can get them done. Mm-hmm. And also during the summer, that some of the police checks do get quite bogged down with applications. So, could you just share some of the contact details again, Lisa? Yeah, cool. If you can find that slide, just while I see what other questions we've had come through. So Rebecca's got a question. When will I expect to receive the eVision login details so that I can begin the process? So, Rebecca, when you were given a conditional offer, you will have been given your eVision login details. So to go to eVision, your student ID number is your username. If for some reason you can't find the email that's got the password on it, you can just press forgot password and you can reset it. And that's where then that should let you log in to eVision so that you can then start that process that we've discussed today. So I hope that answers that for you, Rebecca. We've got another question. I was born in India and had the vaccinations as discussed today, but I don't have a record of the vaccination that I had. I've been living in the UK for the past 16 years. Would it be possible to get any vaccine booster or doses after becoming a student?
Okay, thank you, Laura. Okay, so in answer to that question, if you've got no vaccination evidence, what you will need to do is have serology testing, so we can actually ascertain in the first instance whether you need boosters or whether you need repeats. So in your individual case, you would be contacted with an appointment, a vaccination appointment, to come onto campus and have those serology tests done in the first instance, and then obviously any subsequent follow-up, either boosters or repeat injections.
Thank you, Julie. So let's have a look. Rebecca's come back to us. I've only got access to track. Haven't received an email. I'll have a look at that. If Rebecca, if you could send me a private message in the chat, send me a student number, because that's a private piece of information. I can have a look to see if I can give you, or even your UCAS ID, and I'll let you know what your student number is so that you can get logged in. It's really important then that you can access eVision. Okay, we've got some more questions. So somebody's asked about when you'll get an email about completing DBS and occupational health check if you're due to start September. Julie, did you say that has been sent out?
If you're due to start September 21, you should have received that information by now. Just for information for everybody, we've been sending details in terms of occupational health on course offers since April. So can I ask if it's an occupational health, if you've not had your occupational health questionnaire yet, can I ask you please to email Few Occy Health, and Lindsay will pick that up with the external occupational health provider. If it's your DBS information that you've not kind of received as yet, if you can just send an email to Few DBS, and Lisa and myself will pick that up with admissions.
Thank you. Okay, next question. I have sorted my DBS out, just waiting for approval from the university, but have received no email links regarding occupational health. Will we get this email link at some point in the next few weeks? So I've just advised that, as Julie just said.
Absolutely, yeah. If you do, just drop us an email to Few Occy Health, and we will act as that caveat with the occupational health provider for you.
Okay. I've taken the occupational health survey, but my profile still says not checked. Also, for a Master of Social Work student, will I be required to provide my vaccination report? Okay, so
if you've completed the fitness to train questionnaire, and by your profile, sorry, I'm assuming you mean your sort of clearance status for that. If that's still not checked, I'm not sure when you actually submitted your fitness to train questionnaire, but there is a few day turnaround for the occupational health provider to, if you like, review everything that you've put in the questionnaire, and then subsequently they will move on to clear that. In terms of Masters for Social Work students, yes, you're still required to provide your vaccination evidence report.
Thank you, Julie. So Lisa's shared the contact details should you have any further questions. So if you may want to just take a note of those now, just as we take a moment. There's still opportunity for you to submit some more questions to us before we round off. Somebody said they filled in the questionnaire about 2 weeks ago. What is roughly the lead time, Julie?
Yeah, so if it's a couple of weeks ago, I mean, ideally, Laura, the independent occupational health provider should be clearing them quite swiftly, so 5 days maximum. So that will be something that Lindsay and I will pick up with that provider to make sure that if there's any backlog, that's cleared immediately. We're actually meeting with them tomorrow, so we'll pick that up there.
Right. Thank you.
Laura, is it okay if I just make a point in terms of DBS? And I think Lisa's touched this, but I think one of the most significant points that I can provide today for you is once your DBS certificate is issued, you need to keep it safe. The university doesn't receive copies of your DBS, and it is in very exceptional circumstances that the Disclosure and Barring Service will issue a replacement DBS. So once you have your DBS certificate sent to you directly in the post, please keep it safe. It will support for the duration of your course, and it is a requirement that your placement providers, if your course has a placement element, will want to kind of you may be asked to produce that on your first day of placement. So just to reiterate, it is categorically critical that you retain that safely, and also to avoid yourselves having to kind of purchase another one and go through the process again.
Thank you. So we'll just open the floor again for any more questions. As I said, make sure you note down some of the things discussed today. This session is being recorded, so we will be able to share it with you should you want to go through it again to have a look at some of the information provided, as it may just help with the smooth running of you doing your DBS and occupational health checks. But obviously also, as the ladies have explained, there's also the FAQs for the DBS on the website, so that will be really useful as well. So if you've got any more questions, whilst we've got Julie, Lindsay and Lisa with us, it's a great opportunity for us to have these answered live for you. So we've got another question just coming in. Lisa, if you wanted to answer that one, where can I find the link for the DBS application?
Where can I find the link for the DBS application? It's on their revision tasks. It should be on the revision tasks as soon as they get the information through on the revision.
Yeah.
If not, they can email Few DBS and I'll send it to them. But obviously, I want to avoid that where possible because it's a lot of traffic. But they should automatically get it from their offer letter and their revision tasks. That's right, Julie, isn't it?
It is, yes. So on the screenshot, so on the presentation when Lisa had shared earlier, colleagues, with pay for my DBS, once you've paid for your DBS, you'll be sent a confirmation email that says thank you very much for paying £40, and then you will have a second email that says here's your secret word and PIN, which will then include a link to the external provider's website. And if you follow that link, if you go to your next slide, please, Lisa, or the first direct slide, first advantage slide, that link will take you to the provider's website, which will then ask you to register, and then you'll be asked to put in your secret word and PIN that's applicable to your course. So if you haven't got that, again, as Lisa said, please email Few DBS and we will investigate that for you.
Thank you. So I'll just wait a few more moments to see if we get any more questions come through, which we're happy to answer live for you today. And then what we will do is we will then have a comfort break before the admissions walk at 5 o'clock. So if Lisa, if you wanted just to recap on some of the slides where there was particular links or contacts.
So it's course requirements, so everybody has to do this if it's a course requirement. They can join the update service, but they can't do that until they've actually done a DBS, or they may be part of the update service already. They need to apply for a university one. The instructions are there. They do have 2 weeks to do that. Actually, on the system, it's not 2 weeks to actually do your DBS, because I've had that question as well. So your DBS doesn't have to be completed from start to finish. It's that you get 2 weeks on the actual system to fill your application in before you go to the post office. Julie's just gone through that slide with the where to pay. And that's where you can search if you don't actually get straight through to your course. You must ensure that you register, as Julie says, because a lot of applicants do just fill this part in where it says sign in straight away, and you must register first, because you won't get the right you'll get error messages if you just fill in the sign in box first without registering. ID, if you've got any problems with ID, I'll just show the link again that you can go onto to actually check what documents you can use. Again, make sure that you tick the box so you can track your own application. That does help a lot if you can track your own. But then obviously if you raise any questions because your application has stopped progressing or for any reason, then just drop us an email. Post office is quite straightforward, where you take your receipt with you that you get at the end of your application on the actual system from the provider, and with your ID that you've put down that you've got, and the £6. Leave of absence is, I've gone through that, but just email us if there's a problem or you don't understand. The First Advantage contact number again. An email address if you need it. What First Advantage will do is they'll help you with system errors that you maybe come across. We can help you with the PIN, secret words, generally links, things like that, but they can actually help you if you get any system problems with the actual system that you're doing your application on. Frequently asked questions, again, that's on the web page also, as well as on this PowerPoint. International character checks, that's more relevant for people that have lived overseas or actually overseas at the moment. And then we come back to the contact page again.
Lovely, thank you, Lisa. We have just had a few more questions come through. So we've got somebody asking if, so they've been offered to start paramedic science in April 2022, but also told there's a possibility that their place could be moved forward to September 2021. How would that affect the DBS and occupational health time frame?
Okay. So Laura, with the occupational health, it's a little bit more simplistic in terms of as soon as we know if somebody's being pulled forward to September rather than in April, we can get the details sent directly, instantly over to IDC for them to send that questionnaire. So there's not really any kind of barriers in that respect. In regard to your DBS and the application for DBS, what I would recommend is once you get that confirmation of a pull forward to an earlier start date, that you commence that DBS straight away, because the DBS service can take up to a maximum of 90 days to turn your DBS certificate around. Often it doesn't, in the majority it doesn't, but just have that thought in your mind, because if there is a bottleneck with the disclosure and barring service, because they're supporting numerous DBS applications around that time of year, we'd recommend that you kind of get on with your application as soon as possible. If you have any difficulties or you're not moving through the system of stages for completion on the application, and as Lisa said in the presentation, you can actually track your own application, and if you note that you've been stuck at a particular stage for a couple of weeks, let us know, and at least then we can try and support in terms of potential impact on your enrolment window and such forth. Yeah,
Brilliant, thank you. I think I did see a question about what the deadline was for DBS.
Okay, so I think we're pretty much working, Laura, towards it's the 31st of July. I think that's across the board for conditions for us. Obviously, yeah, but again, can I just stress that if we have any international applicants that are on the call that are still in their home country, just to stress, you don't need to do your UK DBS until you actually arrive in the UK. In those cases, we would ask you to contact Q DBS, so we know actually that there's going to be a potential barrier to your enrolment, and we can preempt that prior to any difficulties starting in terms of that.
Great, thank you. We've got another question. If I don't know my vaccination history, will my course offer be withdrawn?
Not at all. No, not at all. So part of the process is you'll do your questionnaire first, your fitness to train questionnaire first, and then you'll receive a second email to ask you to upload your vaccination history. If you don't have anything or you're unsure, then there is a section, I believe, within that that basically you just kind of stipulate that. And as I explained earlier, what will happen is you will be invited in for serology, and you'll receive serology tests, and then that will establish what vaccinations you need.
Can I just say something else, Laura, please?
Of course, yeah.
When you're on the First Advantage site actually applying for your DBS through the web link, it is important that you put your student number in where possible. There will be a section for it where you can put your student number in, because when that comes through to us, it just makes us clearing your record for DBS a lot easier. Otherwise, we have to look up the student numbers for you. So if you do have the option to put that in and it prompts you, then please put that in.
So I think we're going to round off now. I hope you've all found that really useful. Really big thank you to Julie, Lindsay and Lisa. If anybody's got any last minute questions, please submit them now, so that we've got a quick chance to have a break. Yes?
I can see a question there. Does the whole DBS check have to be completed on the enrolment day to be enrolled? I can see that. I don't know.
I've answered that, Julie.
Oh, you have? Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Brilliant. So I think the silence now suggests that they've been given so much really useful information. So thank you, ladies. A big thank you for joining us and providing that information. As I said to everybody, this recording will be available on demand should you want to refer back to it, as it will be really useful to help you throughout that process. So we're going to take a short comfort break now. So if you want to go and grab yourself a drink and then come back for the talk at 5 o'clock, which is with admissions. And just again, big thank you to Lisa, Lindsay and Julie for being with us today and providing that information. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.